Okay, hello. Today I'm going to talk about Act 1 of Stranger Things Season 5. I like the airing schedule that they're sort of doing there this season rather than dropping it all at once. I think they did that with Season 4 as well. I can't remember exactly. They're splitting it up into like chunks, which I think is good to generate hype. And I've always talked about like this whole model of dropping an entire season at once. Kind of sucks because it's like there's none of that hype. You binge watch the whole season and it's done. And then you just wait a few years for the next one. And I like I miss like the weekly episode kind of. HBO does this well with the weekly episodes to generate hype. But I think this is a good in between, a good compromise where it's like 4 episode chunks. And I like what they're doing where they're tying with holidays, where it's like that 4 episodes on Thanksgiving, 4 episodes on Christmas, and then the finale on New Year's. I like that. I like that a lot. Anyway, so I'm talking about the first 4 episodes, which is all that's out so far of this final season of Stranger Things. Now I'm gonna apologize in advance. I've been like sniffling all day. My allergies are like through the roof today for some reason. So if I'm sniffling a lot or blowing my nose a lot, that's why. But I wanted to get my thoughts out. I wanted to talk about this. I just caught up. Was it last night? I think the night before last night. Time is so weird nowadays. I think the night before last night. I recorded this on December 3rd, so I think probably December 1st is when I caught up. Yeah. So. Right off the bat, I'm going to say it has issues, and I do have issues with it, but overall I still think it's very good. I think people saying it's bad are like wholly overreacting because there's so much good here. I would say the issues that it has are more like annoyances than like genuinely like major problems. I think there's some regression for characters that I think is frustrating, which I'll get into, but otherwise I think like it's still a very solid start to the final season. They're doing sort of the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood thing where, I know in Japan it wasn't like shift divided into seasons, it was all aired just consecutively, but when Netflix released Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, in the US, I think it was Netflix that did this split where they divided it into 5 seasons. And the entire last season was sort of like the sort of fun that it was like the final like battle struggle. I guess it was sort of Mustang's coup and Edward and Alphonse dealing with all the stuff with father and everything at the same time. So it's sort of like the final battle coalescing, and that's kind of what this season feels like, where it's like just. It like the first episode starts with this run that they're going to do into the episode on this mission that they're going on. The mission just kind of like melds into what is eventually this ongoing just this final conflict here. Which I really like that style of storytelling where the whole final season is like this final thing that we've been building up to this whole time. So I like that a lot. My big issues here, I'll get them right off the bat out of the way, is the fucking Nancy love triangle bullshit. Like it fucking sucks. Before the season I would like, she hasn't really done much this season yet, but before the season I'd say Nancy was like definitely my favorite character in the show. I think she's a really great character, and like this whole love triangle bullshit, I feel like both Jonathan and Steve had like extensive character development over the course of the show that truly changed them into like better people. And it feels like in this, like, as they say in the show, but acknowledging it in the show doesn't justify it, where they say it's almost like this like ape-like thing to get Nancy's attention, and it's like they're just like they're acting like proto season 1 selves, to like just acting like bumbling idiots. And it's fucking stupid because it's ridiculous, a little ridiculous, because it's like we've seen their development as people and like transforming into better people. I know Jonathan specifically took like a lapse back last season, but Steve especially, we've seen his like development as a better person. He was acting like such a fucking dick this season so far in these 4 episodes, and it's like Jonathan too. I really think what they're going for here, and I think what they're trying to do, and I could be definitely proven wrong, but I think what they're trying to do is that Nancy ends up solo. And it's like, neither of you are good for me. And I'm going to, move on with my goals in my life without the burden of either of you. And I think that's a really good idea for the story and her character. I think like, it's always been this struggle of like, balancing her strength and her agency with this like, this clinging romance that was always kind of stuck there between the two characters. And for the first few seasons, I was like on board with the Blossom Romance with Jonathan, but I feel like in the season 4 they kind of show like he's kind of devolving as and regressing as a person, and it's like, and that maybe Nancy needs to step away and deserves something different. That was like going fine in the storytelling, I think, until this season when it's like all the development that both Steve and Jonathan have is just completely gone, and now they're just like fucking idiot assholes. And yeah, I really think that's the direction they're going in. But this was not the way to handle it. Like you could still have that story without regressing the characters and like kind of erasing their development. So that was frustrating. I wouldn't say it's like a huge toll on the story or season. It's a little frustrating, especially since Nancy being my favorite character is like the focal point of this love triangle. But it's something that's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I also think going off of Steve's behavior, like his treatment of Dustin, like they always had like banter. That was always kind of their thing, but like he's like borderline like abusive and bullying to him, and it's like you can see, anyone can tell that Dustin is going through like really tremendous shit right now. He's really mourning. Like Eddie was one of his biggest role models and best friends, and he's really mourning and struggling with his depth. He feels, he's slipping away from his friends because of that, his other friends that are still alive because of that, and he is, being bullied for his association with Eddie, and he's acting out in response to that, lashing out. And it's like you could see this kid is struggling, and no one seems to want to fucking do anything about it. But most importantly, Steve, who was another one of his big role models and friends, is like bashing him. Like, and the fact that they're going to do this run, and this team always has this no one gets left behind kind of ethos like flowing through them, this whole like broader like real family / found family kind of thing that they've put together, always has that broader ethos. And the fact that they're going to start this run and they're like, Dustin's missing. And it's like no one knows where he is, and that's not their first priority. Like, well, we'll move ahead with the run. I don't know why the fuck he didn't show up, and not, oh my, like something happened to our friend, we gotta find him, and we're modifying the plan to find him. Like, that's insane to me. I feel like it was like a writing like convenience where they're like, oh, like let's just like make them not look for him so we continue this part of the story. And it's like, I don't know, everyone's just bashing on it for no reason. It's bullshit. As I'm talking these nitpicks through, they're evolving to a bit more than just nitpicks in my head, where I'm like, there's serious issues. But like, I would still say, like, I'm still very much enjoying the season. I want to get that clarity. So let's go into the things I did enjoy. I really like this fucking Matrix world that Vecna's set up, where it's like, sort of, so he's taking these kids. We don't know the full extent of the plan. I think my personal theory with that is that he's trying to build a new like core group of those super beings like that he was like sort of imprisoned within that facility, to try to build a new core group of that to sort of like reimagine the world in his image. I think that's my interpretation of his plan, but I think it could definitely be something else. I don't know for sure. But yeah, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, he created this like almost like where he's keeping Holly, and it's not the physical place she's in, because she's in the big like fleshy mass wall in the Upside Down. Like we see that, but like where her brain and like psychic and like her like soul is in this. And it almost reminds me of the moon in Majora's Mask, where it's like you go inside the moon and it's like this like tranquil, peaceful, naturey kind of feel with that tree, and there's kids. It like has that energy. For sure, it did give me Majora's Mask vibes. I love all the Wrinkle Time references because I love that book. That's typical, but I really like that like area that she's sort of, her psyche is trapped in. I like the addition of Holly. I think it's a good way to have a non-core character that doesn't know Vecna. I think that was necessary for this plot thread, and like all the core characters know of Vecna at this point. There's no like mystery with that, so they wouldn't have been tricked by that. They know about Henry, they know about Vecna, so it wouldn't have worked. So I like the addition of Holly. I think I can't remember, she might have been like this age last season, I don't really remember, to be quite honest, but I feel like she was always like a baby or like a toddler, like someone that didn't have any like character agency in the story, and I like that they're kind of giving her a character, and she, she's fun. She's a good like lens to see that through, this like innocent child that also has like her own strength, and like smart sadist her. So I feel like that was a good addition. I would say my favorite part of this season is the development of Will. I think he's always been the weakest character, and it's not necessarily a fault of the character, because I think in season 3 and 4 they did like start giving him more character, but in seasons 1 and 2 he is like the victim of the story. You know what I mean? Where he is the one that's the I don't know what you call it, damsel in distress. I don't think that's the right word, but like he is the one that is captured by the villain that the other characters have to go rescue. And both seasons he's dealing, like he's the sort of one that has to be saved in that. So you don't really get a sense of his character until later. And I feel like they're doing a really good job of expanding his character and like making him really interesting and engaging to follow. And I love the direction where they're going with his character, where he's taking sort of the trauma and like abuse he's endured and propelling that out as his inner strength. And it almost reminds me of like Robin's devil form in one, you know, if you watch this channel, you know I love One Piece. In the Raid on Onigashima when she fights Black Maria, that it almost has that same like thematic resonance and energy, and I really love that. And with Nancy kind of being like stuck in this shitty subplot this season, the center of it, honestly, like Robin's really transitioning to my favorite character this season, and she sort of becomes a mentor for Will, specifically because she sort of sees and tracks that he's struggling with this queer identity, and the fact that like we for now it's kind of, you know, it's still stigmatized and still heavily persecuted, but it's a much more like understood today. This is the 80s. You know, this was a very different time, like, and the fact that she like becomes a safe space for him and like sort of a mentor in that, and he's able to channel her advice for that also into his like, you know, physical overcoming and embracing of his new powers. Like it just chef's kiss. Yeah, like this really, I would say like Will and Robin are kind of like just sort of at the center right now for my favorite character of the season so far. I really hope Nancy does like breaks off from this side plot and does some like amazing shit, because she had been my favorite character up to this point. I don't want to see that go away in the final season. But yeah, I love like the Robin Will dynamic. It's like, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's so great to see in a show, especially a show set of the 80s and a really popular show, where it's not like, you know, it's not like, you know, it's embracing their power and their strength of both of these characters. And the speech that Robin gives to Will, like in the episode 4, God, it's so fucking beautiful and powerful. I love their dynamics so much, and I can't wait to see it in the next couple episodes. So yeah, like overall, there's a lot I love here. And there's also a lot that's disappointing and frustrating. Murray, my second favorite character, probably behind Nancy in the previous seasons, got a bit sidelined. He's sort of just this like delivery guy where he's like, I have all the items you need. But he stepped into the main core plot, I would say in episode 4, so I'm hoping he sticks around with the gang more presently in the last 5 episodes. I believe it's 5. I think they're doing 4, and then the finale. So yeah, overall, like I said, like there's issues, the definite issues I have, but I'm sort of still really enjoying it and really liking the direction they're going this season, other than the plot threads I have extensive issues with. So yeah, that about summarizes my thoughts. I'll do my thoughts after the next block, and I'll do my thoughts on the finale as well. Depending on the time frame in which I watch those, it might be all together, or it might be separate into 2 videos. I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to get my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking of the season so far. Any theories, thoughts, ideas you have. Yeah, I love to hear them and talk about them. So yeah, thank you all for watching /listening. Bye-bye.